welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Podcast. As promised, we have our NHL seeding episode, which means Clarkson and Nico are back again.
How you doing, guys?
What's going on?
And we're going to get right into it. We're going to start with the Atlantic Division. We're going to go through our top three for each division. Then afterwards, after we're done the two for the conference, we'll talk about the wild cards for that conference. But right into it, Atlantic Division. Who would like to start?
Clarkson, you go first this time.
All right.
This is hot. This is a hot division.
God, it pains me to say this. If you don't have the Boston Bruins as your number one seed, please leave the room. They are just somehow, their first line is just better than they were last year.
And they're already the best line.
David Pastrnak has more power play goals than most teams have power play goals. Mm-hmm. It's absurd. My number two in that division is actually the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they're going to turn it around. I'm hoping they're going to turn it around. I know it looks really sketchy right now, but I feel like with Sheldon Keefe in, everything just points in the right direction. Kyle Dubas has his guy. And if they need to make adjustments, especially on the back end, I believe Dubas will do that. And then my number three is the Florida Panthers. I think Florida is just...
Is that a hot take?
Whoa! I was not expecting that.
Really?
Really? No.
Man.
Florida.
Yeah,
Okay,
Florida.
Go. Explain.
Okay, so... Man.
Holy shit!
That's a hot take.
I feel like I just got slapped in the face.
The Canadians fan.
Okay, so no, and
you motherfucker.
number one, everyone knows I hate Montreal, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I know.
I think the only thing that's still holding Florida back is goaltending. Whatever that,
which it shouldn't have been.
Which it shouldn't. You're right. They have
corrected
Bobrovsky. Whatever kind of voodoo witchcraft is going on in the net in Florida right now, I think it's going to subside by the end of the season. That team is way too good. And way too deep to, especially defensively, to not improve their game. Again, I think the only thing holding them back is goaltending. I also think that Tampa Bay has been nothing but an average team over the past 2 years. The only I know they set a record-breaking season,
but it was average.
No. Ever since January 2019. Ever since January 2019, they've been an average team. They excel on the power play because of their stars. I think there's an underlying issue with the way that they're playing. They're not as dominant as you saw the year before, obviously, when they had the record-breaking season. Mm-hmm. But since January 2019, I have a feeling, and it's starting to show right now. They have 11 wins, 7 losses in 20 games, 2 overtime losses.
They've also played the least amount of games in the NHL.
With 20, yes,
and they're right in striking distance of the top 3 in the conference. You know what? Finish. Please finish.
They're 6-4 in their last 10. Vasilevsky hasn't been Vasilevsky-esque. I feel like it's hard to see them getting a spot in the top 3, and that's just simply because I believe that Toronto is just going to turn things around.
Okay,
let's
debate after.
The one thing I want to say about the Canadians is, man, their defense has just been, and Nico, I'm sure you can attest for this. It's just been bad lately, and I don't see you guys have Shea Weber, and then outside of that, it's
Jeff Petrie.
Mind you, this is coming from a Leafs fan whose defense is arguably as bad, but that's my top 3. I'm gonna stick with that one.
Montreal's not in my top 3. Don't worry. That would be a very not bandwagon. It's not bandwagon at all. Just a homer pick. But am I going to my top 3 right now?
You do yours.
I think Boston's number 1. I think that's probably going to remain unanimous amongst anybody that talks about it. I think Boston's number 1. I think number 2 is Tampa Bay. And I don't know how you don't have them in the top 3, but I have them as my number 2. And here's why. They didn't start off well. Of course they didn't start off well. That's why they're not even in a playoff spot right now.
Sure.
But they have the players to turn it around. You're not going to expect Kucherov and Stamkos or even Braden Point to stay as quiet as they have been. Braden Point's been very quiet, and I think he was
also injured to start the beginning of the year too. So
that's what I'm saying.
Something I can definitely
you're missing a big piece like that who's going to help out. I think you know what you're going to get from the rest of your team. I think Vasilevsky's only going to get better. He's still a pretty young goalie as well. Their team's solid. The team hasn't really changed from last year. But I don't really think they're...
So they're the same team that got swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first round.
Okay, they got swept because Victor Hedman was playing with concussion on the ice. It was a deep concussion.
Yeah, you could look at him for 5 minutes.
I don't know if God.
But okay, I'm going to continue with what I'm saying. So I just think Tampa Bay has so much to offer throughout their whole team. And I don't really see them being held back as much as they've been right now. And like Jake, they've only played 20 games.
Hey man, they have Patrick Maroon.
They played 20 games. They're 2 points behind Toronto, who's played 25 games. That's 5 games to get 2 points just to tie Toronto. That is 3 games to get 3 points to catch up to Montreal Canadiens, who are in 3rd place right now.
Your argument makes sense right now. I'm talking at the end of the season.
Do you think Florida Panthers keep up what they're doing?
I think they get better because their goaltending.
Do you think they get better?
I think their goaltending is going to get better.
Man, I am not on the same page.
I think it has. I think it
no,
has to.
I do not think.
Man, you can't.
I do not think Florida Panthers are going to carry on being the highest scoring
Alexander
team
Barkov,
other than the Washington Capitals. I don't think they're going to carry on. Yeah, that's cool. These are really cool names. I really appreciate you saying
Mike
them.
Hoffman,
but it doesn't mean anything to
Aaron
me.
Ekblad.
I don't understand how you think that the goalie situation is going to figure itself out, but the
sample size.
But the forwards who are playing unreal right now are going to keep it up. But the goalie, that situation is going to rectify itself.
You want to know why?
There's sample size right there, and you think that the goalie's going to pick it up, but the team with the highest winning record last year, who's apparently just average, whatever the fuck that means.
Look at their fucking stats, man. Their possession metrics and their shot metrics have been average since January 2019. Look it up.
Okay, you've been okay, Nico. Finish your 3. Okay. I want to say my 3. Then we can really talk about this.
Number 3 is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I thought this was going to be an easy division.
I have the Toronto Maple Leafs coming in at number 3, and I just think they turn it around. I really don't see Florida keeping this up at all.
Okay, let me do mine.
Yep.
Let me do mine. Boston. I mean, we're all in agreement. Boston's the number 1 seed. We've said everything we need to say. 2nd, Tampa Bay. Because I agree with Nico, this team is too talented. They have fallen victim to a bad start to the season, but they are 3 points out of the top 3 with 3 games in hand on the Canadiens. Obviously, that's right now, but they are going to turn it around. There's too much talent. I don't see the Panthers. I honestly do not. I see Bobrovsky fixing himself to a degree. I don't see the forwards maintaining as well as they're playing.
Florida is Buffalo of last year. Remember?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You can't tell. Okay, look. The reason why I think Florida's goaltending is going to fix itself and the offense is going to... I'm sure it won't continue at this pace, but it's still going to be at a consistently high level, is because their forwards that I just listed off, they're all good players.
Yes.
They're playing better than they should be.
Okay.
But they're still good players. Bobrovsky...
Stamkos and Kucherov or Barkov and Huberdeau. Like that's literally. I'm gonna.
No, but it's okay. But okay, Kucherov, Stamkos, Point. That's 3 guys
who are ridiculous.
Look at Florida. You're telling me Alexander Barkov isn't at the same level as Nikita Kucherov?
No.
Scoring
talent.
Aside from the 120 points, just as an overall player.
Oh, yeah, I think Barkov's solid. I always said that Barkov was solid. We've had this conversation.
Jonathan Huberdeau just came off like an 85-point season, which puts him in the same caliber as Stamkos.
Sure.
And then Braden Point versus Mike Hoffman, Evgeny Dadonov, who had like 75 points last year, or 70 plus. I don't know the exact number. And then Vincent Trocheck coming off of an injury, who put up a 70-point season the year before that he wasn't injured.
Yeah,
that's 5 guys.
But Trocheck doesn't look good right now either, though. And yeah, sure. If you're talking about everything evening out, which means sure Bobrovsky starts to play better, and
can't get any worse.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Bobrovsky is a good goalie playing bad. Florida's top 6 are good players playing great. They're still good players. Bobrovsky's playing like
let me
finish. Tampa in second.
Yes.
Maple Leafs in third.
Yes.
I think the Leafs will turn it around. We did a full episode on them. But okay, I'll just say like right now my wild cards. I have the Panthers in a wild card spot.
I have Tampa in a wild card spot.
But like what I will say about the Panthers is I don't trust their offense to maintain playing this well. But I do trust Bobrovsky to snap out of it because Florida's defense is great and they allow I think bottom like their top 5 in terms of chances allowed, like shots allowed, like good chances allowed in the net, like into like top 5 like in a good way.
Yeah.
They allow like almost like some of the least in the league. But Bobrovsky's so awful that he lets it in. But I don't see the Fords keep up with the talent that Tampa Bay, that Boston have, and the Maple Leafs have.
Jacob,
I don't see that.
You're right. The forwards will not be able to keep up with the pace that they're putting up currently in order to compensate for Bobrovsky's lack of performance. You are 100% correct. If Bobrovsky doesn't change and doesn't improve, even slightly, like his save percentage is under 900 right now. Even if he puts up like a 905, they're still going to absolutely wipe clean this division. I don't think you guys watching Florida, I don't think you understand how good this team is. And I swear to God, just like last year, the only thing holding them back right now is goaltending. That's my take.
Who are the other wild cards?
My wild card were.
Don't we have to talk?
We should go.
Okay, I forgot. But okay, let's. We're talking.
Start somewhere else than me because apparently I'm off my rocker here.
Like I understand where you're coming from. I just don't like. So, you said you have Florida as number 3.
I have Florida.
So that means you also think Toronto is going to end up being a better team.
Did I say Florida's number 2 or number 3?
3. You said number 3.
You said 3.
You said the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be better.
Okay, sure.
And that means you also think they're going to be better than Tampa Bay, which, sure, fuck it, why not?
You make it sound so unlogical.
Just because Tampa Bay has a proven track record of how good they are, and yet it's just so easy for you to ignore. But fuck it, let's go to the Metropolitan Division.
Nico, you go first here.
Okay. I don't think it changes. I think it goes Capitals. I think it goes... Oh, fuck.
I don't think it changes.
I think the order changes.
That's what I'm looking at. Okay. The order kind of has me a little bit. I do think.
Okay, we're talking the order. Like this might.
I'll toss out my order. I think it will go Islanders.
Islanders.
I think the Islanders.
Oh my!
It's crazy. Man, I know. Islanders, Capitals.
I cannot
Hurricanes.
stand how mind-boggling the Islanders just. Have like I question all existence when I look at the New York Islanders. I physically don't, other than their goaltending being like .935 or something absurd. I don't understand how they're consistently winning games. I'm just dumbfounded. They make me look so stupid because I swear,
wish there was a camera on your face at that moment.
I swear he was just really processing the Islanders team and how well they were just and he's thinking start of the season he had them one of the bottom seeds in the Metro.
Oh my god! I just saw meme galore.
Okay. Let's just.
I don't understand. Anthony Beauvillier has 16 points in 21 games. Who in their right mind thought Anthony Beauvillier would be scoring at this rate?
Again, we're on. Let's say our order and then we'll talk about the teams.
That was my order. Okay. You heard it.
Yeah.
Islanders, Washington.
Listen, whatever
Carolina.
kind of fucking Hollywood wizardry is going on in New York right now is just...
Okay, I have the order that it currently is at the time of recording, which is Washington, Islanders, Hurricanes. Penguins, I think, are too injury prone to really challenge the top 3. Mm-hmm. I'm not fully sold on the Flyers. I'm not fully confident in that team. The Hurricanes get better every year, but the Islanders are so fucked right now. Washington's one of the best teams in the NHL. That's it. Capitals, Islanders, Hurricanes.
How about New Jersey?
Oh man, I honestly.
I'm going to switch up the order differently from both of you. I think Washington runs away with the Metro. Then I think it's the Hurricanes. and then I think it's the Islanders, but I still don't
I don't-
understand that.
Honestly, I think this
I
division's a toss-up just between
Yeah.
those 3 teams.
Yeah.
I don't really think
That's
there's
fair.
anybody else that...
I have no
that's-
problem with those lists. I mean, it could go either way.
I think the Penguins could have been in the mix, but them losing Malkin for basically half the season is going to just eat them up.
Yeah. That's going to be a
All
big
right,
deal.
boys, wild cards. Who do you
Well,
got?
I said, let me go, because I said the Panthers. I already said the Panthers are going to be a wild card. And like you mentioned about the Penguins, injury prone. Like I said about the Flyers, I'm not too sold on them, but I like the Canadians at the 8th seed as a wild card. Nico, you don't like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, honestly,
Man,
I don't know if you're a Canadian fan. I don't know if you're gonna put them in the
I
top.
can see it.
Clarkson, you go first.
I'm
buddy.
gonna
Or
say
second, sorry.
I'm gonna say Tampa Bay as my wild card.
Yeah.
Just because I have Florida ahead of them. And then I'm also going to say Pittsburgh. Man, like they've had some. I'm just gonna say Pittsburgh. I think Crosby, Malkin. At the beginning of the year I thought this team was gonna be really bad, but man, like they've shown that they can get some secondary scoring. So I'm gonna say Pittsburgh right now.
Nico.
Oh, this one's tough for me. I don't know. Like, I think the Panthers, Canadians, and Penguins. Panthers, Canadians. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Are the only 3 teams I can really see truthfully contending for it throughout the whole year. I just don't see it from Philadelphia. Not necessarily that they don't have the pieces or anything like that. They kind of do. Carter Hart's still kind of a young goalie.
I think
their defense is
Morgan Frost, 2 goals, 2 games.
Yeah, Morgan
Playing with
Frost.
Giroux.
Ooh. But,
Man, if
I don't
there
know.
was-
I'm gonna go.
If there was ever a team to make,
I'm gonna go Florida Canadians.
Okay.
I think But here's my take. I think Canadians finish higher than Florida.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm not completely against that. I just have
I have the Canadians
I
at
have the
7
Panthers.
and then Florida at 8.
I'm just a little worried from right now. The Canadians have lost 4 in a row
Mhm.
from when we're recording, so that worries me a little bit. But I still think playoffs for them. At this rate.
I hope they make the playoffs. I don't know. It's another one of those ones that it's an extreme toss up. Honestly, I think me kind of picking the Canadians in front of Florida is a little bit of
little biased.
is a little bit biased,
Hey, I
just a little
respect
bit.
it.
But I don't know. I'm still pretty confident that they at least make playoffs.
Who wins the East and gets the 1 seed, gets the easier wild card opponent? I have the
It's
Washington
Boston.
Capitals.
I think it's Boston.
I think it's Boston.
They're just absurd.
Wow.
If it's Boston, I would love to see a Boston-Montreal series.
I would-
That would be insane.
I'd love
I
to
have the
see-
Capitals, but
I-
that's a toss up. That's a close one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think I have Boston because I have Boston over New York for mine.
I think that wraps up the East. Let's move to the West.
This is where it gets fun.
Let's start with the Central Division. Yeah, this is where it's gonna be.
This one's hectic, man. Every time I look at this, I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
I think the Central is gonna change a lot. I'll start. I think St. Louis will continue on and win that, win that division. I don't have a lot of faith in the Stars. I'm gonna be honest. Don't have a lot of faith in the Stars. I think it's gonna be the Avalanche at the 2, and I think the Jets are gonna be at the 3.
You have the Jets in.
Yeah,
What's so surprising with that?
Look at their defense.
it's a depleted defense. I'll give you that.
And
But like I said, I don't.
Josh Morrissey just got injured.
I don't have a lot of.
No, Josh Morrissey's back. He's back.
I don't have a lot of
Are
faith in the
you
Stars.
sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. He's on my fantasy team. I'm pretty
Man.
sure I looked at the most recent updates.
I'll go
and he's
because
healthy.
the Stars have won their last 6 games. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10. I think people expected them to just run away with this division because of the move they made in the offseason of bringing in Pavelski. And man, like, I don't think anybody expected Heiskanen to be this good. He looks absolutely fucked out there.
Heiskanen? I thought he was just... I literally said this to my
From
friends.
a production standpoint.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
We all knew he was gross. But my number 1 is actually going to be the Dallas Stars.
Number one?
My number one's going to be the Dallas Stars.
I don't even have them in. You have them number one.
My number
This
two.
guy loves hot takes. He just fucking throws them all over the place.
He does
Yeah.
like
Man,
hot
you got to
takes.
look at the big picture here because St. Louis with
Advanced analytics and everything.
Tarasenko's
Like,
being
yeah,
out.
sure, they tell part
No,
of the
no,
story,
I'm
but they
not
don't
saying-
tell the whole story.
I'm not saying
man.
analytics though. I'm one that advocates stats and the eye test. I'm a hybrid.
I'm a hybrid between two. Eye test is a big thing.
My second team is the Colorado Avalanche. I think
I had them at the 2.
So Stars, Avalanche. Okay.
Stars, Avalanche, and then my number 3 is the St. Louis Blues.
Okay, I thought you were about to say like Nashville or something. I was like, this guy's just throwing fucking shit against the wall and hoping it sticks.
Okay.
No, I can respect that. I mean, I don't agree with Dallas, but that's just my opinion.
What is your opinion?
Yeah, I have St. Louis number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have the Jets at number 2,
Interesting.
and I have Colorado at number 3.
So you and me have the same 3. We just flip Avalanche and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Clarkson is on a different page again.
What else is new?
It's a tough division, though.
It is a
man.
tough division.
Central
It
Division's
is.
a really tough
It can
division.
change. I'd be surprised if I was correct, to be honest. Like there's like a lot of variables involved.
Who knows, man? Nashville can always. They can still push.
Well, let's move
but-
Oh no, I think they're a good team.
They're a late season team too. They were last year, and I think they will be this year.
Mhm.
They just can't stay healthy right now. It's either
Yeah,
Philip Forsberg,
it's-
Victor
it's-
Arvidsson just
it's
got
health.
injured.
Mhm.
Roman Yossi's absurd.
Yep.
And I don't think Pecorine, correct me if I'm wrong, has been anything special.
I don't know.
He has an 8.89 save percentage with a 3 goals against. Saros has an 8.91 save percentage. That's gonna have to get better if they're trying to make a push. Like that's bad, especially for.
But like I said, they're a late season team. They tend to do better in the second half of the season than they do in the first.
Yep.
You can never
So
really
we'll see
count a
what-
team out either.
What are your wild cards? Let's see if you have.
No.
We
gotta
got
go
for
to
Pacific.
Oh,
which is,
yeah, I
which is
forgot.
even more interesting in my opinion.
That is
Okay.
a weird division, man. Like the Coyotes.
This is a tough. I'm scared to talk about. I feel like I'm.
Man, I've already
so
made some
wrong.
hot takes already, so I'm.
All right, let's hear another
All
one.
right.
You go first, Clarkson. Give it to us.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Hey, how about I just while we're on the topic, me and Jack did an episode on the Canucks Stanley Cup contention, like their candidacy for the Stanley Cup, and Jack has them as one of the
Winning.
best teams in the NHL and
Really?
getting all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and then maybe losing to Boston there.
Really?
I have them absolute max conference final. That is absolute max.
What? You guys have them going to the conference
No,
final?
no.
Absolute like
Absolute
their
max. The ceiling
potential for
is the
this year.
conference final because this is such a toss-up division. But I mean, okay, I'm talking about them. I'll give you my take. I think the Oilers, when healthy, are good enough to win the Pacific.
I think
riding
McDavid and Draisaitl
Exactly.
when healthy are
They-
good enough
they-
to win
yes.
the Pacific.
That's exactly what I mean. When I talk about the Oilers, I mean Draisaitl and McDavid. I think they can. The whole team can ride on their back to the top of the Pacific. I think the Canucks are good enough to be second in this division. I don't see the Coyotes keeping up what they're doing, so I don't have them in my top 3. And as far as the 3rd seed goes, I'm really torn between choosing the Golden Knights or the Sharks. But I think the Sharks have steadied the ship to a point where they're going to be the 3rd seed. I mean, they're on a good streak right now, 8-2-0.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think, I mean, again, this is a tough division to talk about, but I think that the Sharks are on the right path to be the 3rd seed.
So you had Oilers, Canucks, Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Like I said, I'm probably gonna be really wrong.
Nico,
This is
I'll let
this is
you
a tough
go
one.
because I'm
You'll let me go?
still kind of like figuring out my order here.
I have Oilers number 1 just because I think
Wow.
they're gonna continue to lean on Draisaitl and McDavid. I mean, obviously barring any injuries, but I think those guys are just gonna continue to carry the team.
Knock on wood.
I think Mike Smith has shown that he is steady. Like he's going to be good enough to keep that push going. Like that one year they had Cam Talbot and made that push into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Same thing. You have steady goaltending with those two guys in front of you, and you're going to outscore teams, man. You're definitely going to outscore teams. I actually have the Golden Knights coming in at number 2.
Wow.
I've been a big fan of the Golden Knights ever since I saw the first team that they drafted. I said, as soon as they drafted that first team, I was like, this team's going to be ridiculous. People didn't believe me. I was like, no, man, these guys are solid. And now they've just continued to add pieces. I think their team's going to continue to be solid. I think they're a team that can find some flexibility at times when it comes to trade deadline. I think they're not a team that's scared to make deals and sort of benefit from them, and I think that's definitely going to help them. So I have them coming in at number 2, and then I have the Canucks at number 3. I think the Canucks have just sort of figured it out. They've gotten all their players to at least somewhat perform, whether it be absolutely, honestly, anybody on the team. I'm a big believer in Thatcher Demko. That guy is ridiculous. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to just continue to get better. I don't really see him dropping off, and I think that's why the Canucks are going to come in at number 3.
Can I just comment before we move on to Clarkson? You and me, Nico, we did a full episode on if the Oilers are the real deal, and you and me were both pretty certain that they were not the real deal. But here we are talking about it like a month later,
And we both have
have them as the first seed in the Pacific. So clearly we were a little bit wrong there. They are a bit the real deal. I think the biggest question mark was Mike Smith,
and that was the
and
one.
now that he's kind of
Steady.
He's he's showing a little bit of consistency. That's where we see it. But it's also, again, if McDavid and Draisaitl, if one of those guys goes down, that's it. It's over. But
I think it's scary that James Neal is still producing and he's playing beside Nugent Hopkins. He's not playing beside Draisaitl. He's not playing beside McDavid.
the Nuge.
He's playing beside Nugie. And
All right.
I mean, he just got hurt.
Clarkson, your top 3. I'm a little bit scared. I'm gonna predict that you're gonna put the Flames in your top 3.
No.
Okay.
No.
That would have been.
No, okay.
That would have been a little
goaltending
crazy.
is the Flames is so bad.
Calgary's interesting because there's been a lot of parallels between their performance and the Leafs' performance over the last little bit, and just how bad Gaudreau has been, and just their whole team just doesn't
That
seem
number one
to
line,
find
man.
it right
That
now.
number
Yeah.
one line is just under fucking
I've heard some
performing.
people
Holy.
tell me before that Sean Monahan isn't actually as good as he's made out to be.
That's what I said.
Nico's raising his
I
hand right
remember,
now.
I remember you saying that.
And you tried to shit on me for it.
And I'm starting to see. I'm not there yet fully, but I'm starting to see it. Anyways, my top 3. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I still think the Oilers are going to maintain their pace.
Wow, we all agree.
He was looking at us weird when we said it,
I
and he just had to keep on staring at the stats.
I don't.
Advanced analytics says Edmonton Oilers are going to finish first.
Man,
Yeah, I'm an analytics guy. But
it's hard.
I don't want to roast him for that.
It's hard to see. I mean, I looked at the other day and I saw that Leon Draisaitl had 42 points, which he has more now, obviously, because he's Leon Draisaitl. And we're only 20 games in, and I projectile vomited everywhere because
I almost threw up when you said
that guy will never get enough credit for how good he is just because he's playing with David. And anyways, that's a whole different story. I think Edmonton comes in first. I then say number 2 is going to be Las Vegas. I think.
We're saying something kind of similar here.
I think they're a good team. I think they've had a mediocre start. I think they have a lot of young talent on that team as well too. Like Cody Glass is somebody you look at.
Yeah.
To bring in. Their D is solid as always. And Marc-Andre Fleury, and that is just Marc-Andre Fleury. My number 3, however, is the Arizona Coyotes. I think this team is sneaky good. I think because they're in one of those markets like Arizona where people don't have any interest in watching them, they play a very boring style of limiting high-quality chances. But man, I think this team is sneaky good. I think they make a move at the deadline to bring somebody in. All 3 of those lines have seemed to been able to score goals so far. And man, Darcy Kemper is ridiculous in goal. He is absolutely absurd if you look at his numbers this year. 1.93 goals against average, .935 save percentage, Antti Rantna, who's also, I think, is another number one goalie with a 2.62 goals against and a 9.26 save percentage. Man, like, these guys are sneaky good. I have them coming in third.
That's scary.
That's my hot take for this division.
Their point leader right now is Nick Schmaltz with 18 points.
Man, they're like the Western Conference, the version of the New York Islanders.
Yeah,
they have scoring.
I mean,
they have
I don't
scoring
think
through
Nick
all
Schmaltz
their lines.
is Barzal, but yeah.
Clayton Keller, Phil Kessel.
Okay, I thought you just said Clayton Keller was Barzal, and I almost slapped you in the face.
I think Clayton Keller's disgusting. But
what worries me about the Coyotes is Phil Kessel should be like one of their probably should be their top scorer, and he has 4 goals this season.
But Connor Garland has 10.
Connor Garland is 10. So
hey,
maybe they get it from elsewhere, but that's what I mean. It worries me that these guys who should not be this good are this good right now, and the guys that aren't playing well, or should be playing well, are not playing well.
I think it's their
defense. They're gonna drop off.
I think it's their defense. I think Jacob Chychrun is a beast.
Great. Yes.
They have Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who I think it's safe to say now that he's never going to be that 60, 70 point offensive guy, but he's solid enough on both ends of the ice.
Yeah, he's good two-way.
Nicholas Hjalmarsson obviously brings a lot of experience, and he's just a solid shutdown defenseman as well.
Jason Demers.
Yeah, like their D is solid through and through, and like I said, all 4 lines even seem to be scoring. Even Alex Goligoski has 11 points as a defenseman.
I literally just scrolled past that, and I had to take a double check. I was like,
yeah.
This is what I mean. The guys that should be there are not, and the guys that shouldn't be this good are here, and that's why I don't see
the only guy that's performing that people expected to perform was Nick Schmaltz with 18 points.
Yeah.
And Jacob, you're right, but I see your argument, and I raise you the New York Islanders.
Yeah. Okay. It's a fair point.
It's one of those teams
I'm
where
not
they limit high danger scoring chances. They do a very good job of it, and all of their lines just seem to be clicking right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, let's do our wild cards.
God, who did I leave off?
I will do mine first. I'm ready to go. I think that the Stars have steadied their star scoring enough. Tyler Seguin and Jane Benn are starting to perform actually this season, so I have them as my wild card. And I also have the Golden Knights. There's a lot of talent there. Golden Knights in the wild card. I could see the Sharks replacing the Golden Knights in that regard, but I'm gonna go with right now. I'm gonna stick with the Sharks in third in the Pacific. Golden Knights as the wild card.
I have the Stars for sure as one of my.
It's tough for me
wild
not to see the
cards.
Predators. So the Predators are in the mix for me.
That's why I like the Predators.
Yeah,
Predators are in the mix. I honestly don't count out the Flames. I really don't. But it's really tough making an argument for them at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just scary to see what kind of team they were last year to what kind of team they are this year.
They were the 1 seed last year.
But here's
in
my
the
thing
round.
with them. It's your goaltending's bad. Yeah, everybody knows that. It's really unfortunate. But the scary part is that their number 1 line is bad right now. Johnny Gaudreau is not Johnny Gaudreau. Sean Monahan, as much as I don't like the guy, still should be putting up better numbers than he is. I think he has 18 points in 26 games. I don't know. It's just a little bit disappointing.
He's not at the level that he should.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I that's why I kind of see their first line turning it around. But I have it between them, the Sharks, and the Predators, and I'm having a really hard time making a decision. But I think I'll go with the Predators. I think the Predators will probably push through, but I think that Calgary is going to make it tough for them the whole way through. And I think if Predators can't handle all the injuries that they're going through, then I think Calgary will pass them. But barring no injuries, I think the Predators will find their way through.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with having the Nashville Predators as one of my wild cards. I think with a team that good, a team that deep, especially adding Matthew Shane, their thing right now is just goaltending. Their defense is absolutely ridiculous how good they are. So I think they definitely turn it around, which means I left Winnipeg not making the playoffs because they're not going to be my second wild card.
Oh.
My second wild card is actually going to be the Vancouver Canucks.
Winnipeg. Okay.
Oh.
And I think it's hard. It's very hard for me to say that because I look at this lineup and I just see the top line, Bo Horvat, Quinn Hughes. And that's 5 guys, sure, but man, you need some secondary scoring on that team outside of Bo Horvat. And their goaltenders are solid. I think Markstrom's had a slow start. They're both above like 9-10, so like that's kind of on par with where they should. Markstrom's been better in his past couple of years, but I'm leaving the Winnipeg Jets off simply because I do not believe in their defense. I don't think having Josh Morrissey as your number one guy, as good as Josh Morrissey is, I think he's one of the more underrated defensemen in the NHL, just because he's kind of been shadowed by Bufflin. You cannot rely on just one guy to, like, I can't even name half of Winnipeg's defense right now. Connor Hellebuyck's actually been great in terms of his goaltending. Surprisingly, it was really crap at the beginning of the year, but now it's kind of gotten better. But man, if there's ever a team that needs a defenseman, it is the Winnipeg Jets, and they need to, in my opinion, if they want an opportunity to make the playoffs, and I think it's gonna scare them later when they start realizing that they're not winning games and they're kind of falling behind in standings. They're gonna have to make a move to get a defenseman because it does not look like that Dustin Bufflin's coming back. Nor do I think that obviously he would help the situation, but he wouldn't be at the level that he once was. And then that also meant I'm leaving the San Jose Sharks out, and I think that, man, having their goaltending situation right now is just the worst timing. Martin Jones is a bad goaltender.
He sucks.
I will say that. Aaron Dell hasn't been great either. Obviously, he's not number one goalie. But, man, like, with this team, I feel like it's very much... Jacob, you said how Florida's offense needs to produce at such a ridiculous level in order to make up for Bobrovsky's goaltending. It's the exact same thing with San Jose. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard for me to say a team with Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson isn't going to make the playoffs. But I don't feel that their production is going to sustain itself over that period of time, just simply based off their goaltending. And losing, obviously, Pavelski doesn't really help.
Not at all.
I think Thornton's really slowed down as well. He only has 7 points right now in 24 games, which I guess like you can't really expect that much out of him. Patrick Marleau has somehow 9 points right now. Where was that last year, Patty? Fuck's sakes.
Fuck's sakes.
But yeah, no, like Couture's point per game, Burns is almost point per game, Hurdle's almost point per game, Kane is almost point. Like they have a great offense clearly, but it's hard for me. No, their goaltending is just so bad. I don't see it. It's the same kind of situation with Winnipeg.
I had the same feelings. I just looked at them and it's just like, not that they don't have a good team, and like they're definitely starting to turn it around. Like just out of their last 10 games, they've won 8, lost 2, and it's not like they're a bad team. It just, I don't know. It's just something. I don't know what it is. More of just like a gut feeling that's just telling me San Jose won't make it.
I'm the opposite. I just feel like they're gonna figure it out, get it done. I mean, they were conference finalists last year. Like, obviously, other variables involved in that, but they were a conference finalist, and I think this is a team that can get it done with all the talent they have. Like I said, with Karlsson and Burns, like, there's talent.
Yeah,
and I think they'll get it done, make the playoffs. I mean, I have them in my
it wouldn't
top 3
surprise
right
me. It's not one of those ones where I'd be extremely surprised.
No, I agree.
This division's wide open, so lots of room for stuff.
The more and more I look at it, the less and less confident I feel like my Vancouver pick is.
You see that Vancouver? I don't know why you're not confident about your.
I had Vancouver my 2 seed in this.
Man, I again, like, I don't see a line outside of that Patterson, Besser, JT line. I don't see it. It's just It could just be the fact that I don't watch enough Vancouver games.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
they
name another
just-
line on Boston. You know what I mean?
That's I was gonna say.
Man,
I was gonna bring Boston.
I
You
understand
can say
what that
that,
first line
but
is.
their
but, like,
first line is retarded good. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
How
no.
good, like they have the best chemistry and they just produce the best. Like you can't name a better first line than them.
Who do you think wins the West? Who do you think gets the first seed? Easier wild card.
St. Louis.
Dallas.
Wow.
I had Dallas as my first
Yeah.
seed.
I know, but like just hearing you say
Man,
it just makes me.
I'm gonna go with the Blues.
Look at
I'm
that-
gonna go
look
with
at-
the Blues.
Binnington's been fucked, man.
But he's that good.
He is good. I think he's definitely proved that he's. Oh, okay, he hasn't been that great. 926 is good. 926 is very good. Don't get me wrong.
Very good.
Yes.
But like again, Darcy Kemper, 935. Just fine.
Okay.
Again, but no, he's been great. Don't get me wrong. He's a great goalie. He's proved that. It's just things like Tarasenko being out of the lineup definitely hurts them. Sammy Blaze just got injured for them as well,
Yes.
which also doesn't help in depth scoring. But at the same time, they have Patrick Maroon, so anything's possible.
Yes. Patrick Maroon.
Just for the sake of it, let's pick our Stanley
Wait, no,
Cup
they don't.
winner.
It's Tampa as Patrick Maroon. What am I saying? That God.
I was gonna
Whoa.
say, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
I saved myself there. That could have been. I could have got some heat on that.
I'll ask again. Let's just for the sake of it, pick our Stanley Cup winner at this point. Actually,
Oh.
let's pick who comes out.
Oh,
of each
Stanley
conference.
Cup.
God.
Let's have
Jesus.
give me your conference winners, like playoff wise,
What?
and give me your Stanley Cup winner.
Oh my God.
Like your
Conference.
No. The team that wins their conference final to get to the Stanley Cup. Like who's the matchup in the Stanley Cup and who wins
There's
it?
a matchup in the Stanley Cup. Wow. I'm going to say the Colorado Avalanche and the Carolina Hurricanes.
Whoa, Carolina's a hot take. I was
in the
thinking-
finals?
In my,
Or
okay,
conference
no,
finals?
hold on. I'm
No.
gonna say Florida instead. I'm gonna say Florida.
Whoa,
Florida,
that's
Colorado.
even hotter.
Man,
Whoa!
you guys
Whoa!
You guys do not understand.
Oh my
I clearly
God.
don't understand your thought process.
guys
I
don't
okay.
understand.
Let me see.
Tell me
I
the
don't-
advanced analytics. I want to hear them. I want to hear them.
I don't
Okay.
know why that's such a
You know
hot
what?
take, man.
All I'm gonna say,
It just I don't just hearing
I'm going.
Florida
If,
Panthers.
if Florida does that well, it means Bob is back to being Bob, which means they're a really hard team to play. They're a really hard team to play against, regardless of how Bob's doing right now.
Okay.
But I think
I'm-
Colorado.
Sorry, that was your conference finals.
No,
No, that's my
the
Stanley
Stanley
Cup.
final.
That's my
You
Stanley
had
Cup.
Florida versus who?
Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, let me say mine. I have Boston coming out of the East. I don't think it can be a lot of discrepancy with that. I think for
Fuck
the
Boston.
West, it's tough to pick. I honestly was leaning towards picking the Avalanche, so I'll go with the Avalanche. Man, that'd be weird.
Mine's kind of
Colorado in a
interesting.
Stanley Cup final. That would be
They're
weird.
a very good team, man. They're a very good team. They have very good players and very good goaltending.
Oh, you didn't pick your winner. Who do you think's gonna win?
Out of that matchup,
Florida, Colorado. Man.
Ooh.
if it's them two in the final, it means, like I said, Bobrovsky's playing Bobrovsky level
goodness.
hockey. And
Oh my goodness.
But man, that would be such a good. Oh god, that's such a good matchup.
Just hearing that finals and just
That's what I mean. I can't really process
I
Colorado.
can't
Never mind
process it.
Florida. I mean, I think you're about to say Florida's gonna win.
Yeah, he is.
I think it's Florida.
You heard it here. Clarkson,
I think it's Florida.
Chris
Yeah,
Charlton.
it's-
I think it's Florida.
Quote,
Say
I
it
think
with
it's
your
Florida.
chest.
I think if that's the Stanley Cup final matchup, I think the
Well,
Florida
that's-
Panthers
well-
wins the Stanley Cup.
Well, you said that's gonna be
Yeah, I know.
So you think if you think that's going to be the matchup, and you think Florida would win that matchup, you think Florida's gonna win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
All right, stick with it.
Yep.
Okay, stick with it.
No,
Stick with it.
I don't think you guys understand. Who am I kidding? The Leafs are gonna win the cup.
I unfortunately am going to say Boston is.
You can't say that, man. fuck? You're a Leafs fan.
But it sounds insane. But I gotta look at it from a professional standpoint.
You guys
here.
are just so boring.
I hate it.
You don't think my picks
I
are
hate it.
boring.
Hey, I have Colorado in the final,
That's
but I mean
they're gross though.
they're gonna
Nathan
get
McKinnon can very much.
they're gonna get overpowered by Boston in the final.
They're gonna get
If that's the
overpowered by
case.
Florida in the final.
There's a lot. I mean, look, like the 1 seeds were like all over the place in the playoffs last year, so who knows? But
Exactly.
that
Like,
was tough to predict.
That's my thing when you're considering, and when I hate it when people ask, like, who's the Stanley Cup going to be before the season even starts, because you have no idea. But like that's the thing. Like the number 1 seeds never ever like do that well. Like Tampa's perfect example.
That's my usual rule, but I am breaking it this year.
But then again, Boston made it to the final last year. And Boston.
Oh.
Nico, let's hear yours.
From the Western Conference, I have the Golden Knights going to the finals. I honestly think Vegas has consistently been one of the best teams in the playoffs. I think they should have beat San Jose last year to make it to the conference finals, but they got cheated out of that. I mean, they gave up 4 power play goals on a major, which is obviously not something you want to do, but I still think I have Vegas going all the way.
Wow.
And then I have them.
I wish you could see my face when you said that.
Man,
you can't get the emotions really captured.
You're talking about Colorado. Like, what are we talking about?
This is a tough division to take. Okay, Golden Knights. I think it's a better take than the Florida one, but anyways.
And then in the Eastern Conference, I hate saying this. I have Toronto. I have Toronto making it to the finals.
Woo! Both Toronto
A
fans.
Habs fan admits that the Toronto Maple Leafs are the best team in the NHL.
But
rejoice this
But
day.
2 Toronto fans did not.
True.
Who do you have winning that matchup?
Toronto.
Wow. This is a Canadian fan.
On the subject,
all Canadian fan.
I have some breaking news right now. This is an apparent quote from Mike Babcock that had just resurfaced. Yes, tweeted by Ian Tulloch. Actually retweeted from his name is James, but account for hockey. Babcock was alleged to have asked one of the Leafs rookies, this is in the 2016-2017 season, so this is a while ago. Babcock was alleged to have asked one of these Leafs rookies to list the players on the team from the hardest working to those who, in the eyes of the rookie, did not have a strong work ethic. The rookie did so, not wanting to upset his coach, but was taken aback when Babcock told the players who had been listed at the bottoms. So this rookie, and I know because Ian tweeted this out, at Ian Graff on Twitter, this rookie was Mitch Marner. So Mike Babcock went to Mitch Marner. Again, this is breaking news. This should have been mentioned on the other one, but unfortunately we recorded that one first.
This is live.
Well, I mean, I just said Toronto's going to win the Stanley Cup.
This
so
is
yeah, good thing you just said that. Now we have a little bit of a time.
That is insanely fucked up by Mike Babcock to make one of his rookie players list on a piece of paper like who the hardest working versus the non-hardest working players are. Like that is
that's fucked in itself. And then to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Does it mention that? Was it anonymously told to the team that Mitch Marner did it, or did he say, "Hey, this is Mitch's list of hardest working to least hardest working"? Make what you will of it. Throws down the list and leaves the room. Just lights up a gas fire in the change room, and it just leaves. Oh my god, I can't believe that. I can't believe you did that. But
that's jokes.
That like if that doesn't show you. The like cancerous environment that Mike Babcock has created.
Hey, so maybe with the new environment they will win the cup, like Nico said.
Hot take, Nico. I like it though.
I know a lot of you guys would like it. I fucking hate it. I don't want them to win at all. But just something tells me that this season's gonna end up pretty special for Toronto fans.
One could only dream.
I sure as hell hope so.
But we'll end it there. Thank you guys for being on the podcast yet again. This was requested by Deshaun, by the way. He just messaged he asked for specifically Nico's playoff seeding, but We got Clarkson involved.
Yeah, I'm sure Deshaun will be very happy with my playoff seeding.
Yeah.
Florida and Colorado.
But we'll end it there. Thanks for listening. Daily content every day since September 21st, and it's going to continue that way for the foreseeable future.